Okay. All right. Well, the beautiful introduction is already up on the screen, which is great when it introduced my favorite financial advisor, as well as my personal one and a good friend. Oya, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Well, it's a beautiful audience today here. Well, I like to start it with a joke, lighten up the room. There is an old one that says an economist is someone who doesn't know what they're talking about and makes you feel like that's your fault. Well, I'm not an economist. Good news, right? I am a financial advisor. And the things that we can talk about today, it's actually money. And I love talking about money in a way that it makes sense. My name is Olga. Friends and family call me Olya. I was born and raised in Ukraine. When I moved to the US about 13 years ago, I wanted to figure out how money really works, not just for myself, but also so I could help other hardworking people, my friends, make smarter money moves. And see that the money is not the goal itself, it's the tool that helps us get where we want to go. And the real goal is to live the life you want. That's why I always say, it's important to have the power and the power to control the level of your financial success because it is your life and the quality of your decisions determines the quality of your life. So, what other tips that we could get to make smart money moves? And it all starts with saving. And why? Why anybody would need to save? It is the least glamorous but most powerful part of money life. When you're an independent contractor in real estate, it's a good idea to have separate buckets or even separate accounts for different purposes. And one could be for operating expenses related to your business. Make sure to keep track of your receipts when it comes to file your taxes. And talk to your accountant about using a tracking system like QuickBooks or something similar. And the second bucket is for your taxes. Put away about 25% of each commission. So when tax time comes, it will be less stressful. Talk to your tax preparer about possible quarterly payment plans so you can prepay it ahead. Third bucket is emergency savings. If you are in real estate, your cash flow may be different every month. So keep 3 to 6 months of expenses liquid and safe so one slow quarter doesn't derail your finances. And finally, bucket number four, it's personal savings. It's different for everyone depending on age and assets, but the rule of thumb is that 10% should go towards your long-term future, like retirement. 5% is for pre-retirement fun because let's be honest, you worked hard for it. 5% for protection, like insurance and just in case stuff. Why, why is it so important? Because the past behavior predicts future behavior, and your future starts now. So it's important to build some good, healthy habits. When I talk to clients, um, budgeting comes up a lot. And God bless technology, there are many tools that help you see the long-term impact of your purchases. And one of them is our proprietary software. It's called Spend or Save Decision Maker. And in this example on the slide, you can see that what it really means to buy a $40,000 car versus a $65,000 car. Sure, it sounds like $25,000 difference, right? But it's not the whole story. Instead of the upgrading the car, if the client invested the extra money, it could grow over time. And after running the numbers for 10 years, that nice car could end up costing more than $50,000 in missed opportunity growth. And we have a similar tool to show the impact of buying less expensive house. We ran this example to show the difference in principal and interest only, what buying $450,000 home versus $400,000 home mean. And over the course of 30 years, it came up to just about 270,000. So, step number two, invest. Why would anybody need to invest? And one of the reasons would be inflation. It's like a sneaky leak in your wallet. Even at 3%, it cuts your money buying power in half in about 25 years. So that $100,000 you see, it only feels like 47,000 later. It's pretty wild, right?
That's insane. I've never seen it like so clear like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. That's one of the biggest reasons why people need to invest.
Hmm.
Um, Another one is cost of weighing. That's a huge. So in this example, we're showing that what it takes to hit that $1 million mark by age 65. And you'll notice that the longer someone waits to start saving, the higher those monthly contributions have to climb. Time really is your best friend when it comes to investing. And another thing is time value of money, which sounds similar but a little different. Um, just to show you that it's the greatest multiplier, right? When is the best time to invest? It was yesterday, actually. But the second best time to invest is today. And here's the illustration showing how there was two roommates, right? Investor A and investor B. And the first roommate, she started early and contributed for a while, and then, her circumstances changed, and then she stopped. And then another roommate, she couldn't start earlier, so she delayed, and then she started later and kept contributing more for a longer time. And, she still ended up having less money than the first roommate. So it's not about time in the market, it's about time in the market. And here's a fun trick. Think right before you invest. So every investment has a rate of return, inflation, taxes, and expenses. So whether it's buying a home, a rental property, or stocks, consider all of the above and ask yourself, is this right for me? Now, speaking of real estate, we also have a tool that helps clients figure out whether it makes more sense to buy or rent at that point of time. Since you're in the business, you already know how big of an impact this decision can have on someone's life. And that's why it's important to really take a look at all the pros and cons before jumping into the purchase. Continuing on topic of right investment, the individual retirement account could be one of them. And being an independent contractor, you don't have an employer 401k with a match. You don't have that free money jumping in on you. But you have many powerful self-employed options, and that's a good thing. A bad thing is having many options can be overwhelming and confusing. As you can see on this slide, there are a lot of words and numbers, and selecting the type of account is one issue. But then comes another one. And people always ask, so, well, yeah, what should I invest in? And my answer is always the same. It depends. So everyone has different goals. Maybe it's building wealth or protecting what you've earned, um, Or maybe you think about the legacy at this point, and each goal has its own game plan. And there is no really a cookie cutter solution because your plan should fit your lifestyle, kind of like a perfect pair of jeans. Comfortable, flexible, and something you can actually stick with. Um, so working with an advisor can help you figure out what your best option is and take some of that stress off your shoulders. That's why I love my job. I always say that you don't have to know everything about everything. You just need to know the right people. Um, so another step of success to financial wellness is protect. And why? Um, don't tune out. This part is actually important. So, what is your biggest asset? It's not your car or your house. It's actually your ability to make money. Think of it as like a golden goose, right? That brings golden eggs. If you couldn't work tomorrow, how long could you keep things going? And that's where disability insurance comes. And an average policy should replace about 60% of your paycheck. And think of it as your mug money. So it covers mortgage, utilities, and groceries. Next one is healthcare. And anybody who lives in the United States knows it's not free here, right? We're not communists. It's expensive. So retired couple today might need over 350,000 just in medical bills and without long-term care. Of course, you know, you guessed right again that we do have a tool for this as well, and it helps the clients project longevity using scientific approach that is more accurate than just using average statistical tables for your age and gender. And the same tool that can help give you an estimate on future long-term care cost for when we're just too sick and old and tired to take care of ourselves. Okay, so next one is taking care of dependents. If there's anybody who would struggle, not just emotionally, but also financially, if you were to pass away, you might want to look into life insurance. One of the common issues that I see during life insurance review is that clients are either being underinsured or overinsured. So it is important to search for the lowest possible cost to ensure your goals should you unexpectedly pass away. So every situation is different, but most of the time we see the insurance need going down for the clients as they accumulate wealth. And using our proprietary system, we can help clients save money and eliminate the need for life insurance altogether. And as you can see in this particular example, we were able to save over $40,000 for the client over the period of the term. Um, Next one is estate planning. So that's to plan for what happens after life. Talk to your attorney about setting up a will or trust and a health power of attorney. God forbid you let some of your assets without a beneficiary or transfer in death, a designation, the whole thing would have to go through probate. And it eats up your time and money. You don't want the state to decide who gets what. Also, remember about healthcare power of attorney. If you or your clients have teenage kids, we need to remember that once your child turns 18, they're legally an adult, and that means that doctors can't share medical information with you or let you make decisions for them, even if you're their parent, unless your child has signed a healthcare power of attorney. So now that we reviewed the scope of work that needs to be done, you have three options how to go about, right? You have to implement. And one option is do nothing, which is always an option. Another is do it yourself. And the third one is find good help. So, if you're anything like most real estate agents, your schedule is already packed. So, finding a trustworthy advisor might be the best investment that you make this year. And I can give you some tips how to pick a good advisor. Um, so, when how do you find a good advisor? So, there are two magic ingredients. One is fiduciary, and another one is independent. So investment advisors require to uphold the fiduciary standard, meaning they always have to act at clients' best interest at all times. And it's not just about selling the product, it's about providing solutions tailored to you. Um, Look for an advisor that will listen to you, ask you questions to learn about you, and what your goals and needs are. An advisor that has tools to tailor to your solution, and the solutions may be more than just investments, because your advisor may be an independent licensed insurance agent. They can provide assets to the best insurance products and the best rates, and help you ensure your goals that are met, and help you figure out how to go about it when something unfortunate happens. So a good advisor helps you look at the whole picture and uh, guide you along the way. So let's wrap this up. Um, One of my favorite quotes is the one I actually saw when I got admitted to the Faculty of International Studies, and the quote was, "The one who owns information owns the world." So be that person. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep learning. You don't have to know everything about money. You just need to know the right people who make smart money moves. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And um, if you got any questions, it's perfect time to ask.
I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I really do.
Awesome. Well, given that we stay in touch with you, I bet that you'll have a chance to ask me anything you want.
Always. You're super easy to reach, and I appreciate that. And I
Awesome.
will push this out through the office, and hopefully, if people have questions, they can reach out to you directly.
Great.
All right.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording.
Thanks.